Hey everyone, I'm Lincoln Parks. Welcome to the I'm Local podcast. In a world where big corporations dominate the market, it's easy to forget about the unique and vibrant businesses that make our communities thrive. That's why I created the I'm Local podcast, a podcast dedicated to showcasing the incredible stories and contributions of local businesses just like yours. Each episode, I'll be diving into the heart and soul of a different local business. We'll hear from the passionate entrepreneurs behind the scenes as they share their personal journeys, their business philosophies, and the challenges and triumphs that make ownership so rewarding. Whether you're a longtime resident looking to rediscover the hidden gems in our own backyard, or an aspiring entrepreneur seeking inspiration and guidance, I'm Local is here to connect you with the stories that matter most. So buckle up, get ready to be inspired, and join me as we explore the fascinating world of local businesses on I'm Local. Hey guys, and welcome to the My Local podcast. Today, I'm excited to be joined by Morel McCrary and Thomas Henderson, and I know they have an event that's coming up, and this event is all around what's called guarded growth. So, gentlemen, just introduce yourself real quick to the audience, and then let's jump in.
Hey guys, I'm Morel McCrary. I am with Ramtech PC Solutions.
Thomas Henderson, Osmond Chapman Insurance, just supplying insurance needs in every direction you can imagine.
Love it. All right. So I've been seeing this event. You guys have been posting this out. This has been on the chamber. I've seen on Facebook, all over social media. You're talking about guarded growth. So, explain. Tell me what is this event all about?
So let's explain what guarded growth is first. Basically, okay, we wanted to come together as IT, cybersecurity professional and insurance professional. And we put our heads together and said, okay, look, you work in commercial insurance. I know that you have questions with your customers that come up about IT and cybersecurity and protections needed. So let's put something together so we can at least advise people on what they need to be doing to guard their growth of their business. Hence the name, guarded growth.
Gotcha.
To Morel's point, there's a ton of intersection between what he does and what I do in that space specifically. And kind of the way we've seen some trends happening over the last several years, which COVID really jump-started it,
right?
Fortunately. But like cyber threats, ransomware, all that kind of stuff, cyber terrorism, it's a real thing. It's taking down businesses or taking large chunks out of businesses and entities to the tune of billions and trillions of dollars, and it's impacting the economy that much. And so just as a perfect intersection, especially on the commercial side for insurance protection and what Morel does. And what we've learned is, in order for me to be able to provide you protection from a liability standpoint in the cyber field, you got to have a lot of what Morel does from a servicing standpoint to create good, healthy network hygiene that affords us the opportunity to provide you with solid, well-rounded coverage to protect you in the event of a cyber loss.
Right. I'll tell you, Lincoln, one of the things we learned was a lot of the insurance firms now are looking at their customers and they're saying, hey, look, we realize you have this policy with us, but if you aren't doing these things the way you're doing these things to protect your business, then they're dropping them. They're dropping their customers because it's too much of a risk.
Well, so is that something that's new? I mean, I know, with cyber attacks, DOS attacks, these kind of things have been around for a long time, right? So now, I, like you said, Thomas, and I think you mentioned this, and through COVID, a lot of that's been heightened because a lot of people are at home, a lot of people are working remote, that kind of thing. So, I mean, like, what's the uptick? Like, how is this all tying together?
Yeah, so for the longest time, everybody was like, "Oh, I need general liability. I need general liability for one reason or another." Usually because they had a contractual obligation, and they're like, "Hey, I need to get this so I can go get this contract and earn some dollar bills and grow my business." Well, cybersecurity, I mean, it's heightened to a massive point. I can remember being a part of when I started getting to know Morel real well. Morel's been talking about cybersecurity for what seems like a decade.
Right.
But with COVID, like you said, everybody started work from home. And there was a massive rush to get people just up and operational from home. And
Yeah, we stripped
what
out a
we
lot of security in that process too.
exactly
Yeah.
that was unintentional. I think there was an unintentional sacrifice of making sure we still had good secure networks to facilitate that setup. And you had massive exposure. You got a lot of bad actors out there that were looking around, and they sat up and they're like, opportunity, let's strike
Right.
while
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and that's kind of what happened. And to touch on, people getting dropped. I mean, I'll tell you right now, guys, that's just the market of insurance in general, especially in this state here.
Yeah.
Audits with insurance have always been, you can't just get insurance and it says, hey, I'm covered. I've got insurance. It says so on the certificate here. I mean, if I run an IT firm, but I get a policy that's really built to cover a landscaping business, not really covered. I don't care how
Right.
much the premium is. That's not what matters. What matters is how you're covered. And I
Right.
really think that these carriers have stepped up their game across all coverage areas, platforms on the auditing side. And so that's what we're seeing that it's out there. You can go search this stuff. There have been some massive losses in the cyber sector
Right.
for various different reasons, whether it's wire fraud or cyber terrorism, ransomware. There have been some pretty large losses. And these
Yeah.
carriers went in saying, all right, we just paid out, $1.7 million on a $2 million cyber policy. And when we come back and we go and look at what the company was doing to stop it, they were missing something.
Right.
We're
Right.
coming in, we're correcting that stuff now, which is forcing behaviors on us, the business consumers, to go in and make sure we're following proper protocols.
So that brings up a good point. So what kinds of businesses are we seeing here? I mean, you got because you're ranging from the moms and pops, right, all the way to multi-million-dollar companies. Now I know they need to have, those companies are really like, tell me if they're the ones that are dropping the ball in some instances, but then you have the mom and pop that they have 5-10 employees, and or less. And what like are they also in trouble in this area? Do they need to be covered?
So I can speak to that one. We see a lot of times where the 5 to 10 employee range, they fall into that mindset of I'm too small, nobody's going to target me. When in actuality, if they accept credit cards, they have to abide by PCI compliance. If they are, doing really anything in a regulated type of field,
Right.
then they have to abide by some type of security protocol to be insured as well as to be protected. And like Thomas said, if they were going to that mom and pop, that 10, 20 employee office, and they don't have the right protections in place to prevent themselves, then the insurance company has a case to come after them personally.
Wow. So Morel, let me ask you this: have you been seeing, like, in your business, have you been seeing a lot of these size businesses come under attack? I mean, ransomware, cybersecurity. Yeah.
I've been doing technology business reviews pretty much all month. And when we look at some of the cyber protection reports and some of the pieces we have in place for customers, I mean, one customer had so they call them investigations, right? But one customer had over 4 million investigations, and they have like 17 employees. Now,
Wow.
the investigation doesn't mean that they were hacked. That just means that there were 4 million opportunities for somebody or some gap to expose itself that my software and the services we provide prevent it from happening.
Gotcha. So in layman's terms, without, you're the IT guy, you get technical, you get technical. So there's holes in my system,
Right.
and your software kind of checks all those holes, just kind of blocks them, from
Correct.
people getting in.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's different. Like a lot of people will say, well, I got antivirus, I'm good. I mean, it's a little bit more than antivirus at this point.
Yeah,
Antivirus keeps your machine safe. It doesn't keep everything else safe.
Right. Yeah, what kind of data are you storing? How do you back up your data? What does your business do? Oh, I just sell shoes. Okay, you do credit card transactions. Yes, you have merchant services. And do you market that using an email? What else do you do? There's all these different back doors. And what I think most consumers and most business professional consumers don't realize is all these criminals are looking for is a pinhole to get in. Once they get in the network, once they penetrate the network, dude, it can explode rapidly. Yes. I'll speak from personal experience. Last year, I got an email from, we did a merger, and I got an email from one of my new agency principals, Eddie Osmond. And it turns out that email was not from Eddie Osmond, but it sure looked like it was. And it sent over an Excel spreadsheet, and it was like, hey, Eddie wants to collaborate with you. And Eddie had touched base with me on a couple things to collaborate on. And, he's constantly on the move. And so I was like, oh, cool. So I called him. He didn't answer because he was on a flight somewhere. And I was like, okay, well, let me open this up and click on it. And when I did, I realized very quickly, I was like, this is awkward.
Uh-oh.
This is weird. It was one of those phishing scams. I fell for it. And I'm not a total knuckle dragger. I'm not the smartest kid in class. I'm not dumb, but I'm not dumb as a box of rocks. And I fell for it. And dude, and so I was like, oh man, okay. So I thought I put the kibosh on it. I went to lunch and I came back and had 130 something emails go out to all kinds of contacts from people I had dealt with like 7 years ago. I had like a lender from 7 years.
Wow.
And I got a bunch of responses back saying, hey, I'm not sure this is you. Did you mean to send this to me?
Right.
And thank goodness the rest of the community was smarter than me and nobody took further steps. But I called Morel immediately, or called Ramtech immediately, and we were able to put it to bed without any harm. But my point in saying that is something as simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'll take you down. It'll,
Oh, that is so true. And a lot of people take that for granted. And, like you said, just clicking on an email. I tell my wife all the time, I say, do not click on the emails. I mean, if you don't know this person, or, if it's from Amazon or whatever, just don't click on it. Let me look at it first. So, I'm in all full disclosure, I'm the first line of defense for IT in the family. And, I'm not an IT guy. So at the end of the day, I got to send them to Morel if something happens. So I just tell them, don't click on the link.
That's right. Don't click on that link, man. And when you have, and look, at the end of the day, for your business, Morel, you've got how many people in your operation?
There's 12 of us total.
12. We've got like 20 something. We use a lot of third parties. We use a lot of different systems.
That's true.
But at the end of the day, man, what really makes our business move, what drives us forward, is its people. And we've got great people on our team. But let me tell you, man, humans are humans. We make mistakes. We make errors. And sometimes, in some of these situations, that could be a $500,000 ACH wire fraud transaction that was just placing errors.
That's right.
Email that was close enough to an email of somebody you've been doing business with, requesting funds to be placed here, and you
got to be diligent with it.
Boom! There you go. So
I mean, there's a lot of threat vectors and attack methods that they use. AI is becoming very popular amongst honest people, as well as criminals too. So all of these things we plan to cover in our seminar, though. So I don't want to give too many of the eggs away, but
no. But that's what I'm out. That's really what I wanted to ask, though. I did want you to just a brief high overview of what you guys are going to cover, what are maybe some topics that you're going to cover and talk about, and Thomas, I also want I'll hear from you after that, like the types of coverages that people need. You don't have to go into full detail, but just give them a little bit of what to expect.
Yeah, absolutely. So first things first, Morel and I have covered this before, and we'll continue to cover it. We'll cover this in the seminar, but you got to promote good network hygiene, which means there's a number of different boxes you need to be able to check on your application for cyber liability coverage for a carrier who knows what they're doing in that space to say, yeah, we can come on board. How much you need? You need 1 million, 2 million, 5 million. Yeah. Answer these questions, and it's an application. We'll tell you if you qualify. That's
Right.
the first thing I'd say. Morel can speak deeper into checking all those boxes.
Yeah, and I think
Again, that's
part
where
of
that
our seminar
intersection.
too, Lincoln, we're going to talk and provide a sample audit to the group. And we're going to go through it with them and explain to them, what that process looks like and what they need to look out for.
Yep.
So I think there's a lot of things that we've packed into this agenda to make it interactive. We definitely want, the room feedback. And we definitely want to provide value to the group. Like we went to the FBI Lunch and Learn last month, and it was great. We learned a lot about how cyber terrorism is happening overseas.
Yeah.
And China. It's an eye-opening event that people just aren't looking at. They're just not paying attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's huge.
Yeah, and speaking to the coverage elements, like you were saying, I mean, if you use any third-party system to operate your business, you need cyber protection. You need healthy network protection, and you need that backed up by cyber liability coverage. So you got cyber liability, you got third-party. That can arise from a number of different places. You got ransomware out there, phishing scams. I mean, they all the same idea applies. It's just they're different streams. And so you need third-party breach protection. You need to understand the protocols that need to take place. If a system you're using that you've paid money and signed a licensing agreement say, yep, I will use this according to the terms, it may be a problem that's on their end that you didn't create. But there very well could be some protocols that are necessary for you to take action on to make sure that you don't expose yourself unnecessarily to additional liability as a business.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound like the way the world works now? Everybody's working so hard to cover their own backside because they don't want something looming over here over their shoulder that they didn't see coming up and taking a bite out.
Right.
That's right. The world we live in. We've got that third-party breaches. I've mentioned that like 7 times because it's super important. But wire fraud, ACH, wire transfer fraud. There's a number of different sectors from a coverage standpoint that is really, really important. Something that I think is cool, of course, the way they package this stuff, you got to pay additional premium to have added on features, but like reputation protection, reputation restoration, these are all elements that come into play when you're dealing with a situation like that.
You see, Tom's fired up about this stuff, Lincoln.
That's why I know, this seminar is going to be amazing. Just listening to you guys and seeing how fired up you are about this topic and covering people and also making sure they're secure. Perfect combination, that kind of you guys brought together. So I'm excited about it. So, for those that are listening and watching this, make sure you get out to the seminar. Tell us again what's the time, the date, where it's going to be.
Sure. It's at the Henry County Chamber of Commerce. We are going to meet in the Hygiene room from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it is on April the 9th, 2024.
All right. Okay. So look, excited about it. I'm going to be there because I want, to get some more information about this as well and share this with other folks. And so, in wrapping up, I know you guys, if you haven't, you need to check out mylocalhenry.com. All right. My Local Henry is what we're doing for all the local businesses and small businesses that are out there. go and check it out. I want you guys to check it out. Morel, I think you guys are already on there. Thomas, you guys need to be on there.
Yeah.
And because we want people to find you. So any closing words you guys want to share?
Yeah, I'll
Definitely.
say for the seminar that we're putting on, please register, come, food, fellowship. We're going to feed you. It's going to be a great business community there. Rub elbows with some great folks, and let Morel and I professionally scare the pants off of you like they have been scared off of us, our operation, and other operations, but in a healthy way, in a way that you can
Right.
get really good information, get educated on this stuff, start asking the right questions. You may find out, especially if you're already dealing with somebody like Morel, you may find out, I've got a lot of really good protocols in place. Well,
Right.
I did this.
Yeah, it could be a reassuring thing.
Yeah, man.
That's right.
It could be,
Yeah.
like, hey, I did this E&O policy over here with this company for my business, and I was able to add on some cyber liability cover, some technology, that type of stuff.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
it could be some great reassurance. But yeah, man, that's all I'll say. And can't thank you enough for having us on, making the time for us, Lincoln. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
man, we
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thanks again, guys. Go out to the seminars happening at the on April 9th at the chamber in the Hudgens room. Can't wait. Excited to see you guys there. And let's get our cybersecurity on.
Let's do it.
All right. Take care, guys.